It's Appleseed. It's a piece.
Appleseed.
A piece.
Appleseed.
It's a piece.
Appleseed.
A piece. A piece.
Appleseed.
It's Appleseed.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Benny Appleseed. He's the king of rock and roll! She was straight from hell!
That sign's got a good sound, doesn't it? There we go. Let me move this mic closer. Sorry for that rumble. Why, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot here in California now. Got to get the fan out in here. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Mike and Jace and Paul and Charlie, all my friends, my relatives, my sister, my brother, everybody. Everybody enjoyed the show last week with my brother Carmine? That was fun. I gave him that little bitty kid. Got him back for all those years of putting me on the spot. I said, well, we got to use this kid. It's Sawtooth Kid. And sounds good, but I gave him the good snare drum. That's actually the snare drum that's on sale on the side there. I think for $3.99. Great. This is a great drum. So he used it, and it sounded great, and he was beating the crap out of it, and it held up really nice. Actually, the rest of the drums held up nice, too, and that's a really that's a Command series, too, but it's the entry level. You know, it only had a 10-inch tom and, 16 by 20, no, 18 by 16 bass drum. So it's a great sounding kit. Bass drum's a little bit small, but, you know, when I recorded with it, I set it up in here and recorded, and it sounded great. It sounded really good. See what I did there? I played musically. The first riff was, this is a rough, 1 and a 2. I went, I'll slow it down. I forgot it now. That's it. So then instead of doing the next part with the snare drum as the rough, I went, see? 1 and a 2. So I changed it up. That sounded like this. Screwed it up. So then you combine them, right? Do a couple of each. Like. Up with some good things on these shows. I guess it's you guys. You're inspiring me. And I got to look back and find parts and go, there was something good that I played on there and remember it and write it. I'm trying to put a book together, drum book. It's going to have the meatball recipe in it too, right in the middle with some stains, the whole thing. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Anyway, yeah, so it was great having Carmine on. You know, he was visiting. And I said, well, why don't you play on the show with me? But it was a real nightmare, as I said, to try to get these 2 drum sets streaming through Facebook. So, you know, you got to figure it's not, and I don't have the real pro gear, and I don't have a pro video studio. So, we just kept doing sound checks. I had to get him off the phone because he's always on the phone. It's like this. Come on, we got to do sound check. Come on. Okay. and I got him to do this many sound checks, and we got it. The way we did it, if you're trying to do something like this with two drums, or even record with two drums at the same time, we panned the drums. I went to one side. I don't know if I was the left and the right. I don't even forgot what those knobs were. I think I was on the left. And then we turned Carmine to the right. So it gave the bass drums had more of their own space, like right and left, rather than both bass drums fighting for the middle. And it would have been, a lot of rumbling going on there. So that really helped too. So. And that song I played too is a song called Just in Time for Easter. Sorry, but Call Me Devil. And that was my band World War III. That was in 2000. No, that was in 90-something, 91, I believe it was. And that was Tracy G on guitar, who later on played with Dio with me. And Jeff Pilson was on bass in that version of the band. And on vocals was Mandy Lyon. And he was like one of the first dudes to start that screaming thing, rah, all that. And Jimmy Bain, the late, great Jimmy Bain, just laying the groove. You see, that song especially, you could hear how Jimmy just grooves, Doom, 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 boom, boom, boom. So man, you could really play in that. I didn't play that pattern, but you can definitely play in there, And that was on the one and only album we did. We were supposed to do another album. And things got funny. And then I went and joined Sabbath again. Well, I dropped my sticks. Sabbath for the Dehumanizer album, which they were at, that was about the end of '91, and they were working with Cozy Powell. So it was Ronnie, Geezer, Tony, and Cozy Powell, and it was going really slow with Cozy. Ronnie wasn't getting along and seeing eye to eye with Cozy, and eventually, what happened? Cozy was riding a horse. He fell off, broke his pelvis, and he couldn't play for a long time. So they said, "Let's call Vinny." So I came in, and when I came in, as all the other times I came into the band, it went quick because I'm easy to work with, and I'm quick. Not quick where I just play anything, but it goes quicker. And we did Dehumanizer. So that's right after World War III. So that was on Hollywood Records. Good record. All the lyrics about sex. Comes in, it gets more ambient. That's another little musical idea there. I did this on a number of albums where you start the roll on the big tom and go up instead of going. See? There was a song called Beyond the Universe that I did with the band Derringer, which was Rick Derringer. And I did one of those fills, but it was fast as hell. I don't even know how I did it because, as you could see, I have a tom here. I have a bass drum that's a good 18 inches spread to this tom. So it's easy going down, going up. it's a good sound, you know. If you got a song that's maybe it's a little slow. Like that. I'm gonna make this guy a little bit lower. I never make anything lower. Always make it louder. So that's another way to come up with something a little different for Phil, you know. And that's on Straight Through the Heart. As I said once or twice or three times before, that's a fill that's a replacement triplet going from high to low, like I had more toms too. Something like and then I recorded that going down, then recorded another one going up, and then we panned it. Angelo Arcuri, the engineer, we said, let's pan it. It'll sound good. So they both go like this, whoop, in the headphones or in the speakers, whatever. So that was a good way to do it. So it's going up. And as I'm sitting here, I got a email from the Hall of Fame Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whatever the hell it's called, which I'm not in, and barely, Ronnie's not in there officially. Sabbath's in there with Ozzy, but they didn't put the rest of the people in there. And it's for the merch shop at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why in hell would I want to buy something at the merch shop at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that puts people in there that you scratch your head and you go, that's rock and roll? And didn't put, you know, how long did it take Sabbath to get in there? Van Halen, Deep Purple, you know, all these major bands. And Iron Maiden, I don't know if they're in there. Why would I want to buy something from them, you know? They put me in there, I'll buy a shirt. I'll make them a deal. Put me in now, buy one shirt. System. And what else? I had the meatballs. People are asking about the meatballs. I showed you guys a picture of it before the show. I made the meatballs, and Lala made the sauce with we put all the Italian ingredients on the counter as this same kind of stuff, all garlic, onions, spices, oregano, parsley, olive oil. And she made killer sauce, and the meatballs were just perfect. The mixture of breadcrumbs and cheese and all that stuff was perfect. So we ate that afterward. My other brother Frank came over from around the corner. So the three brothers and Lala, and we ate all 13 meatballs, and they weren't small. You always got to make odd number of meatballs. It's good luck. If you make 14, it's like, you got to eat one before you sit down and eat the meal. I mean, 13. Plus, I was born on the 13th, September 13th, and Friday the 13th. I was born on Friday the 13th, so it was appropriate that I played with Black Sabbath and Dio. It wasn't a requirement, but it was cool, you know. And what else? So we had fun with Carmine, and we were goofing around a lot, you know, with his book. You know, I was making fun of his book and stuff, but his book is great, Realistic Rock. It's a great book. And, you know, and then we do a show together on Thursday, and next week we got Gilby Clarke and John Payne. Gilby from Guns N' Roses, John Payne from Asia. So that'll be a good show. We're having fun on those shows, too. That's Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And also check out the snare drum. This is the beautiful snare drum. You see a picture of it. This is Hickory. Hickory. It's like gorgeous. And that's the head I'm using on it. And it's $3.99 on sale, down from $4.99. And this sounds, it's a great sounding snare drum, you know. And it records great. It's when you tune it high, it's got the whole range of how you want to tune it. You got like your high tuned snare drum, a medium, low. This snare sounds great at all those different levels, you know. This is kind of like medium. When I record, if it's a song, I'll start here. It's tuned about there, and I'll play in the track. Hear how it sounds. Usually I'll turn it down a little bit, but for here I need more rebound for the rolls. So check it out, and it's die-cast hoops, and it's total. Every ply in here is totally hickory, so it's a great sounding snare drum. Very strong, durable, and it sounds wonderful. So I think only today it's on sale, so check it out. And I got one more song. Actually, I'm going to play a song. This is from my band Axis. I've been requested to play this. It's called Armageddon, and this is a beat I came up with. I remember it when I came up with this beat too, which is unusual. Actually, I came up with half of it, and then the rest came to me. We were Derringer, the band Derringer. This was 1976. We were opening for Aerosmith, and we actually got a sound check. And I remember sitting up there, and these are arenas. I was just getting used to playing arenas, you know, because we did a whole bunch of clubs, like a month to warm up the band. It was a new band. And then all of a sudden we started doing arenas with Aerosmith. And that's when I learned how to play in an arena, because it's quite different. You know, in a club, a band's real close. Singers up here, you got some monitors, hopefully, and you could hear everybody. Now, you jump on a big stage like that. It doesn't look good when the amps are really close, you know, in a big arena stage. Although, if you look at some old Led Zeppelin posters, right, they had the amps right here. That's where I like them. I like the bass right here, right behind the hi-hat, right in front of my, like behind my ear. And the guitar's right there, too. And it's like having the headphones on. You know, when they're out in the front, you can't hear them. If they're over there, you can't really hear them. I can't. I hear the back end of these amps. It doesn't sound good. So I like them right back here. But Zeppelin did that in the arenas, you know. The gear was close together. And Bonzo really didn't use a big giant drum set, you know. But now, these days, and what we did was, you know, we had stage sets. So we just relied on big monitors. With Dio and Sabbath, we used monitors, big monitors. We didn't use in-ears. You know, there was no in-ears. You know, it wouldn't sound the same. So I was sitting up there getting a sound check, and I had this in my head, like, oh, how can I do that? Right, and that's like 3 beats. 3. 1, 2. I'm just playing 3 hi-hats. I had that. And then I could almost hear the rest of it, but it didn't come to me yet. Sounds like I'm crazy, right? But you hear things in your head. So the rest of it was part 1. Right? That was part 2. And that's 4 beats. So really it's 7 beats. But it's not really in a 7 like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3. That doesn't happen. It's really a bar 3 and a bar 5. That's what I think it is. I don't even know for sure, but that's what it looks like to me. So the whole beat together goes like this. And then I put in the grace notes, you see? The grace notes here. fills in some of these spots. Some of the holes, let's say. Yeah, so it's not. This gives us some soul. So that was with my band Axis, and I remembered the beat, and later on when we formed Axis again, reformed, that was Danny Johnson on guitar and Jay Davis on bass, power trio. We wrote a song called Armageddon, and based around that beat. I'm going to play it for you. Check it out. And it's pretty cool for it's a trio. And this was 1978, 79, produced by Andy Johns. There might be a little bit of a low end on here because Andy Johns produced it. And, hey, those guys. Okay, so this was an Andy Johns drum sound and a lot of bottom end on it. And it came out really good, so check it out. It should start any second here. Lala's in the room. I'm going to play one more song, Lala. She's got her earplugs. Is this going? Yes, it is. I left a gap. So I tried to put everything on one file so the levels remain the same. And, oh, you know what? Maybe I didn't do that. What a jerk. I think it's a separate MP3. Hang on. Oh, no, it's not. Not. Maybe I screwed it up. Who knows? All this stuff. See, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Here it comes. Here it comes. I hope. All right. Okay. I promise you it's going to start. It's going to start. It's real slow. I think it's going. Yeah. Seconds are counting down. little theatrical ending there. Get this mic stand keeps falling. Okay, so that was Armageddon and cool beat, very cool beat. That album's very old, but it's got a great sound. And actually, that's the album that Tony Iommi listened to before I came down to the hotel and met Tony. He came walking in the hotel room with that Axis album, and he said, "This is good. This is good." Now, when I think about that, I go, how did Tony play an album in the hotel? Those are the days of Walkmans, you know. Must have had a turntable somewhere. Either that or didn't listen to it. People come see you play. Yeah, come down and see us play. And everybody, man, you guys sounded great, man. That was really cool. And then you sit there and go, man, it was really bad tonight. I don't think anybody was listening. They keep saying these things. So, anyway, rock memorabilia. Now, I found this. We painted the rooms in there. It's the old studio. Everything went through boxes. I found a gem. And this is like a real gem. This is a flyer. This is the first Dio gig we did. And this was July 23rd, 1983 at 9 p.m. Rough Cut from L.A. was opening. Paradox, a band called Paradox, was opening before them. And it says Dio featuring Ronnie James Dio, formerly of Black Sabbath and Rainbow. Vinny, spelt wrong, Appice, Jimmy Bain, Vivian Campbell. And the ticket prices, man, to set people back a lot. $10. $12 day of the gig, $10 in advance. And this was at Antioch, California. And it was the first gig. They probably didn't advertise much of this is what the advertising was. It's just a pamphlet. And we had 3,000 people show up. We didn't expect that. We thought there'd be some people there and we can go over the set. But this was turned into a big rock show and we weren't really that tight yet. So, but check this out. This is the original flyer. You see it? That's a cheap flyer. So I found this in the box and went, holy crap, that is amazing. And Budweiser on the top, Concert Bond, the place was called. So that baby's going up on the wall somewhere. I put it in a frame for now so it doesn't get destroyed, you know. I didn't even know I had that. I found a whole bunch of cool stuff, too. You know, the Christmas card from Ronnie that popped up when you opened it. It was him. He signed it and stuff. I didn't know I even had that. So, okay, let's take some questions. Send some questions my way. Okay, Lala. And Lala got her hair done today. Looks beautiful. I don't know if you want to try to squeeze in here. I'm going to move this over. There we go. There we go. That's better. She got, can you see it? Look at that. Look at that. Nice hair. Yeah. They said they like it. They like it. Yeah. And also, I want to thank Charlie Trimble for naming his new dog after me, Vinny. I seem to be the new dog whisperer around here. People sending pictures of the dog watching me on TV, Paul. And now Charlie got a new dog. It's a pretty dog. And his name is Vinny, spelled with a Y, too. So I'm like, wow. I don't even have a dog. I got 2 turtles. Not even a cat. Okay, so questions.
Why do you hit the ride with the side of your stick?
Why do I hit the ride with the side of my stick? That's the butt end. That's the butt end. That's almost sounds like something sexual. Butt end. It's a stick. And this is the tip. So it is. This whole thing's a sexual innuendo or whatever they call it. I play like this. I play with the butt end of the sticks, you see. And I don't play with the tip. So very rarely, very, very rarely do I play with the right hand with the tip. Maybe if I'm recording something subtle, but I usually don't record subtle things. I usually play heavy stuff. So I just play with the butt end. So the left hand and the right hand. Butt end. Now, I hit very on this very, what do you call it? Just like this angle of where it just starts to go to a round shape. You know, I'm not plotting into the cymbal. I'm having that little angle, that tip, hit the same cymbal. And the same thing with these drums. These heads, if you look at them, I mean, I'm hitting them hard, and there's no dents in them because I'm hitting them correctly. I'm not plowing into the drum, and I'm not denting the heads. And I noticed that Carmine's drums, when I moved them, his skins were the same thing. There's no dents in the heads because we know how to hit them. You hit them, you know, with that tip, but I'm not plowing the stick into the head and killing the head. So it's a way to hit them, and that's what I do on the cymbal as well. And by the way, these are Command Series drums by Sawtooth, who sponsors this. Joe Fuco and Tanya Fuco and Kevin work hard at putting this together, helping me. And these are Command Series. This is a value kit. You've seen it before. It's been on sale for really cheap in the last couple of weeks. It's poplar wood, and it's a value set of drums, and it sounds killer. I recorded it, play on the road with it, and it rocks. It doesn't come with this snare drum. It comes with another snare drum, which I used last week, and that sounds great too. So with these G2 heads, Evans heads on there, sounds fantastic. And it's 24-inch bass drum. This is a 12, 13, 18, 24 by 14 bass drum. And it's a great kit. And then if you want to upgrade the snare drum, it's on the side there under the comments. And it's poplar wood. Poplar wood's got a lot of ring. See, it's got a nice spread on it, and great sounding kit. Really good. Okay, next question.
How do you tune your drums?
I knew that was coming. With a key. Ah! I tune them like this is a 12, right? So let's grab a key. You know, I tune to the drum. If I'm going too high, I'm not going to really detune this thing. It still sounds good. And now that's tuned higher, sounds good. But if I go too high, it starts to lose its roundness and its tone. I like to hear the first drum just doom, boom, boom, you know, like an exclamation point. Dot, 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 from high to low. You know, this, and then the big bad bass drum, like explanation point. If I go too low, it's going to probably rattle up a little bit, you know. So I tune once I get the note. See, that's a nice spread. See the difference? And if I go higher, there's this thing's driving me crazy. There's still a spread. I don't know why it's doing that. I have to call the maintenance guy. See, they're both tuned higher now, but they're close in notes, you know. It's hard to hear the difference, so I'll go lower on this one, right? That's a better tone. And the way I tune them is lug to lug. The lug to lug. It's a little flat. Okay, so I tune lug to lug when I hit the note I want to hear. And that's the trick with tuning drums is you got to know what you want to hear, what you want to sound like, you know. Same with the snare. You know, the snare, I usually leave these snares loose, as you can hear. That's this drum. See, This is ringing more. See, this is where you can get problems. This one's ringing more because it's tuned tighter. So, but when you're playing hard, you don't hear it. So that's the way I tune. So I know what I want to hear, and I would suggest if you're new to drums or you've been playing looking for a sound, just tune them, try messing with the tuning a little bit. You know, don't take them out of the box and just tighten them up a little bit and go, that's it. You know, try to experiment with the tones and how you're tuning them, and you'll find something you like, you know. And like I like the snares loose. It's a bigger, dirtier sound. See, the snares got a little dirt. The notes a little longer because the snares are looser. You know, that's what I personally like. The bass drum's the same thing. You want it to sound as big as it can. Now you get a conflict with the bass drum if you want to play fast, like. If you want to do stuff like that, fast stuff, you got to have some rebound off of the skin, so it can't be too loose or too dead. Otherwise, you got to work your ass off to get that rebound. And the pedal, my pedal is very tight. Spring is very tight on it. So I would say you got to experiment with everything on the drum kit. It's definitely it's got a lot of personalities, you know. And obviously, if you're playing, you know, love songs and ballads, you're not going to want. Oh, baby, I love you. Nothing says I love you like a loud set of drums, I must say. All right, next question.
Did you have the opportunity to play jingles or soundtracks for TV shows?
Did I have the opportunity of playing jingles or soundtracks or TV shows? Nope. No, I didn't. The only thing I did was soundtracks was with Dio and Sabbath. Dio, we did Iron Eagle. Did we do Iron Eagle and Iron Eagle 2? I think we did 2 of them. And then Sabbath, we did Wayne's World, a song called Time Machine. The other one on Iron Eagle was a song called Hungry for Heaven. And then we did Mob Rules, which was for this thing. Mob Rules for the movie Heavy Metal. But I never did jingles. I wouldn't be good at jingles. They don't need drums like this in jingles. Yeah. Especially if it's something, yeah. I don't know. Unless they need diarrhea medication. So much bass drum in there make you go to the bathroom. Oh, that moved it. I gotta go. Okay. Being stupid. Silly. Okay, next.
Why didn't Black Sabbath call you first? You always seem to come in at the last minute and save the day.
That's absolutely right. Who said that?
I think it was Mike.
Who?
Matt Carr.
Oh, Matt Carr said that?
Mike Carr.
That guy. He's a sneaky guy.
Sneaky question.
Well, I saved the day.
You asked if they don't hear the question, probably.
What?
They probably didn't hear the
Oh, I'm sorry. Why does Black Sabbath always read the what is it?
Why didn't Black Sabbath call you first? You always came in at the last.
Why doesn't Black Sabbath call me first?
You always came in and saved.
I always come in and save the day later on. Well, that's a good question. We have to ask those guys, you know. They did call me first for the Heaven and Hell tour back in 1980 when Bill Ward left the tour and they were stuck. They had 4 days to rehearse. They came to L.A. and somehow they got my number, I think from Warner Brothers, and called me, and I went down and met Tony, and I told that story before. Then again, after that broke up, when was the next one? Dehumanizer, I think. And they were working with Cozy Powell, and that wasn't going well. And then there was an opportunity to get me in, so they called me. Then again in 1999, they were touring with Ozzy. They were going to do a tour with Ozzy, but Bill had a health problem, Bill Ward. So they called me, and I went in and did the tour. And then again in 2006, when they were doing the Dio Years Heaven, they were called Heaven and Hell, Dio Years record. They were working with Bill. It wasn't going well, and then they decided to call Vinny. So I guess there's a movie, Just Call Sal. He's a lawyer, and I should have my motto, just call Vinny. You know. So I don't know, but they didn't, you know. And then they went on and did the last album with Rick Rubin, and they didn't call Vinny, so whatever. So anyway, that's a good question, Matt. Okay, next, Mike.
Is there a definitive list of tracks and albums that you have played on?
Is there a list? Is there a whole list of albums I played on? There's a bunch of stuff on my website in the discography section, but I don't think it's got everything on there. You know, like tracks and all that stuff. Maybe Wikipedia or the FBI files or something. Who knows? But there's a lot. I've played on a lot of records, definitely. So it's fun. Somebody's got to do it. All right, next.
Any song that you would do with an orchestra accompaniment?
Is there any song I did with an orchestra? Not really. That. What's that?
Any song you did or would do with an orchestra you'd like to?
Well, I did a song with an orchestra, and this was for a live gig with. We did this near the San Diego area. It was an outside concert, and it was me on drums, Andy Freeman from Last in Line on vocal, Rudy Sauza on bass, and the guitar player was Craig Goldie. And we did a host set with the orchestra, Temecula Valley Orchestra. And that was a trip because I never played with an orchestra. And somehow they set up the first rehearsal with the orchestra there and us facing them, and they couldn't hear shit. We're all going like this. So we had to play so low, the amps almost went off. I didn't know there were half settings on an amp volume knob. I must have been playing like this. So next rehearsal, we set up facing the opposite way, and they were further out, and the conductor was here by me. And so we did Kashmir, which was kill. That was one of my bucket lists, playing Kashmir with the orchestra. That was so cool. But I had to write it out because Kashmir can get tricky with the repetitive parts, you know. It's got a lot of parts that repeat, and us rock and rollers can play and go, oh, I messed up, go again, and we know what we're doing. The orchestra's reading. They don't do that. They just go to the next bar. So we had to play it exact, so I had to write something out. And the funny thing with that was the conductor was right near me because I counted most of the songs off of the band. Well, he wanted to count them off, but he goes, okay, he's going to count them off, so the band watches him and the orchestra watches him. He goes, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and he's waving the little stick, 1, and a 2, and we're going, what? I said, I'll tell you what, can I count the songs off? And then you just interpret it to the orchestra? He goes, yeah. So I go, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Kashmir, right? So there was some funny moments there, and I had a monitor with just the orchestra in it, just cranked, you know. But they loved it. The guys and girls from the orchestra really like him doing this. It was fun. We did Nights in White Satin. We played some La La songs, and Ozzy No More Tears, you know, with that orchestra part in the middle. It was great, really cool stuff. So, but you go 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. 1, There we go. Okay, next question.
Why do you have double A cymbals and not double H?
I like double A's. They're louder and stronger, these things, and they ring. This one's like a gong almost. Sometimes when I'm recording, I kind of have to get rid of it, so I put my hand, start to do that so it goes away. It's so big. That's a 20-inch. So this is an 18. But these are nice. I like the tone of these. And when I play with the band with Last in Line, we play loud, and these cut. I could hear these over the whole band. It's fantastic. These are 14-inch hi-hats, double A, 20-inch rock ride, so medium ride. Sorry. Okay, we'll take one or two more questions. Then we're gonna go eat. What are we gonna go eat? It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Okay. One more question?
Why did Black Sabbath change their name to Heaven and Hell?
Why did Black Sabbath change their name to Heaven and Hell? Somebody asked me that in an interview. I've been doing a million interviews because of the new remastered Mob Rules album and Heaven and Hell album. And a lot of the interview questions are the same. That was one of them. Because at that point in everybody's career, especially Black Sabbath, we weren't playing any more of the old stuff with Ozzy, like Iron Man and War Pigs and all that. So we were just doing Dio years songs. And they decided to call it Heaven and Hell, which means basically from that album on, that album and Mob Rules and The Devil You Know, which is the last album we did together, that's what we're playing. We're not playing the other stuff. So it was more of a distinction, making the band more distinct that we're playing this stuff on. It's post-Ozzy stuff, I like playing it all. Matter of fact, I got a gig with Mr. Mike Carr on 4th and 5th of June in Ohio, Cincinnati area. You could check Mike's website. I could check mine too. I'm still putting it up there. It's going to be the first two gigs I ever played in a year. I hope I can play 90 minutes, And that was the last show I ever played was 2019, March 14th with Mike in Cincinnati at the Blue Note. And then we're playing there again. So it's been over a year. It's unbelievable. And then Last in Line, we got some shows in October. And Carmine and I got a show September 25th near the Buffalo area. So we're playing Jimmy John's Sandwich Shop. They get free sandwiches, Now we're playing some theater or something. Okay, well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me and keeping this going, keeping it happening. Don't forget the snare drum, the Hickory, Chromacast, Sawtooth, Hickory snare drum, and beautiful snare drum. Sounds great. It's magnificent. It's on sale. Saves yourself some money. Check it out. And I vouch for all these drums, all the hardware, everything. Everything's Chromacast and Sawtooth. Sawtooth. So I like to thank Sawtooth and Joe Fuco and everybody, and Tanya and Kevin, and all their dogs. They got a lot of dogs, but they're not named Vinny. And you guys be safe. I'll see you next week. And Sunday, actually, we have a bunch of visitors coming to the house. You may know them. They're good friends now. They're called Liliac. And Liliac's coming over here. They're in town next week, and they're going to come over. We're going to go out to eat, and I'll show them some stuff, rock and roll memorabilia, and we'll hang out and have a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. They're really a great band and something really new and fresh, and they kick ass, and Melody's singing on vocals. It's like a female Ronnie. It's unbelievable. So she's great. So that'll be fun on Sunday. So anyway, you guys take care. Thank you very much. See you next week. I'll be back.